Peace. Welcome all out there to the Real HD show. All my peoples in the ethos. Uh One technical wrong. We're gonna keep the party going on. This is our love song to you, the Real HD show. The higher discussion. I'm your man, Vic. We are back here for a double dose. That's right, 2 hours of the Real HD show. You know you need it, you know you want it. You know what I'm saying? Don't front. You know we got you open. We are here for you. Um Instagram followers. We will put the video on Instagram. We will re-release it to Instagram directly right after the show is over. That was the reason for the technical difficulty in the beginning of the broadcast. But you guys can kind of rock with us if you want below StreamYard.com, ZB6M TMVW2X. That's right. We do it the best right here. The Real HD Show, the higher discussion. We need you to tap in and like, share, and subscribe. Turn on all your comments, share, turn on all your notifications so that every time we have a higher discussion, you too could tap in with us and have a higher discussion. We need you. This is nothing without you. We need your help, your participation. Takes a nation of millions to hold our people back, as the magnanimous poets said from PE, Public Enemy. Takes a nation of millions. But we have a nation, we are a nation of brilliance all over the diaspora, right here on the Real HD show. So tap in. Get in, tap in. This is your chance. This is your forum for exploring the good, the bad, the ugly of our people. And we do those stories, but we heal them with freedom music. We heal them with what? Freedom music. Freedom music happens from 7:30 to 8 p.m. You tap into that joint down below. I bring you up, and you can commence with us to get all that motivational soul, jazz, R&B, hip hop, soca, uh, every reggae, calypso, whatever melanated art form you need to put a battery in your back, keep you right and exact. We got you right here on the Real HD show. Um, First of all, let's give some thanks to our sponsors. Don't know if we did that on the last show. Total Package Energy, TPE. Make sure y'all check out all of the powders, zips, teas, gels, juices, waters, everything for your need for speed. Because some of us have a second half to our day. And Redeem Vacations, bring 5 people to the Real HD show or any show on the Real HD channel. 5 or more, courtesy of yourself, and you too will get a 3-night, 4-day stay at an exotic destination in the Estados Unidos near you. You can choose it, right? Then we also want you to, if you're ever in the Rochester, if you're ever in the New Orleans area, we want you to check out Bats Footwear, revolutionary soul technology to help your joints and give you more propulsion as you move through your day. Also, if you're ever in the Rochester area, check out Be Healthy Fresh Food Markets. They have about 4 or maybe 5 at this point locations all around Rochester. They got shakes, teas, smoothies, wraps, groceries, all that good stuff. Melanated owned company. Black House, same deal. Melanated owned company for all your art and cultural needs. Need that shea butter, need that lotion, need that perfume, need that painting, need that piece of jewelry, need that piece of accentuating art. Go check out Black House on Monroe Avenue, Rochester, New York. All right, so we're here. Oh, also, our lineup of shows for this week, this Friday, you will get Broadcast Beats, another thrilling episode of Broadcast Beats. That's right, that one of a kind producer show. We talk hip hop, we talk R&B, we talk jazz, we talk all things music, we talk all things. We nerd out on the producer side of the game. If you're an artist with a catalog and you'd like to be interviewed for Broadcast Beats, please make sure you send an email to Vic7. That's right, Vic7 at gmx.com. And you too will get a interview if you have a nice catalog on Broadcast Beats. Wonderful way to get your music exposed. We do the rock out. We do the producer's playbook. We do in the streets where we talk that ish. Tune into Broadcast Beats this Friday, 7 p.m. All right. Also, this Saturday, 11 a.m. Never mind the date right there, but it's the Overcoming Book Club Discussion Series. That's right. We're a couple of weeks in. You know what I mean? But we got adrenaline. You know what I'm saying? And we about to do it. We all need that shadow work. We all need that healing. We all need that self-discovery. Tap in to what glows forever Sage Dragon has to say about the Overcoming Book Club Discussion Series. You won't regret it. All right. Also, in the hoops, in the bonus hoop show, that is our hoop show on the Real HD Show Network. Myself, Ball Player Luck, Av the Great, we all on there making a shake. Tune in. It won't be about this particular topic, but we do that once a month for a fundraiser for the show. Stay tuned for that next month. We might do it like $1,000 pyramid style, Hollywood Square style. We might do it a lot of different ways. We got fun. We talk ish. Hoop show for hoop heads in the bonus hoops for all your hoop needs or your hoop ish talking you need to do. All right, and we're back. And we are back and better than ever. We are the Real HD Show. Got our act together. We're here with you. You're here with us. We got people. We are blasting off to 5 Facebook channels: YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. Or we're gonna upload to Instagram, upload the fan base, Mob Crush, D Live, Trovo Nation. We're everywhere you want to be. We are the Real HD Show. Share this show. Take this link right here, or take the link from the flyer, right, or the post that we put together today, because this is what we here for tonight. We here for the ish, right? China mind control, AI mind control, and Elon Musk suggests Trump should pardon Derek Chauvin for the murder of George Floyd. Very interesting stuff, man. We need you out there to tap in. We need you out there to get it in with a grin. Say it with your chest. Don't make a mess. Don't just go to the water cooler. Don't just talk that ish while you're waiting for the bus or the train, or in your car at the car wash or at the gas station pump. Let it ring loud and proud right here. Have no fear. This your forum for all that, man. Freedom, justice, and equality is what we do right here on the Real HD Show. And if you don't use your freedom of speech, you lose your freedom of speech. All right, here we go. So, usually I do an AAT report coming right in. Our, healthy, wealthy, wonderful segment about health for our people. But tonight we're going to do a mashup, smash up. That's right. We're going to do a mashup, smash up, because I didn't do this particular segment in quite a while. And it's about time I jump right back into it. And this is our melanated mental health moment. That's right. Because we got a lot of folks that need that mental health uh, assistance. And, we suffer from that PTSD as a nation, especially as a clan, tribe, or people. We have that in our lineage. Our people before us go unhealed, they pass that trauma down to us. And then we have to eat that sandwich and act like we can make productive lives of ourselves. You know what I mean? Cap. So we hear you out there. So right now we're gonna do our AAT report mashup, smash up with our melanated mental health moment on the Real HD Show. And you guys should tap into that. Serious business going on right now. Serious things to consider, especially when today's mental health moment is about our teens and really about all of our folks, really about the entire American paradigm, but especially about the teens because they gravitate to the technology more than others. They really get into the bells and the whistles and the kicks and the attention. Um, they seek the validation and the attention more than most. but it can also boomerang on you. And right now, we're going to find out. One of the things I want to display is this right here. Trump executive orders are exacerbating the country's mental health crisis. Yeah, it's true. Truth, man. Everybody tap in. Anybody tap in, put it in a comment. I see a couple of people on. Y'all rocking strong. Put it in a comment if y'all think Trump's executive orders are exacerbating or making larger the country's mental health crisis. Do people trust each other? Do people trust the government? Do people trust uh business owners? Do people trust the other people around them? Do people trust people to just be honest, integral, and just good neighbors? I don't know. That's a whole conversation we need to have. We need to have a higher discussion about that. Let's do that after we watch this video. Put it in the chat. Let us know where you're at. Let us know if you think that Trump's executive orders are making larger the problem of the mental health crisis in America. Right now, we're gonna see about it on the Real HD Show. Here we go.
Advancements in technology are increasingly linked to a rise in mental and personality disorders among young people, particularly those aged 15 to 25, a critical period for personality development. Dr. Rakesh K. Chadda, head of psychiatry at Amrita Hospital, Faridabad, noted a significant increase in cases of emotionally unstable personality disorder, UPT, also known as borderline personality disorder, in the past 2 decades. This condition, more prevalent in females, can severely impair social and occupational functioning if left untreated, often leading to depression, anxiety, substance abuse, and a heightened risk of suicide. Dr. Chadda also highlighted the growing issue of substance abuse among youth, with young men more prone to it, while young women are more susceptible to depression and self-harm. The rise of social media and digital interactions exacerbates these issues, contributing to reduced physical activity, disrupted sleep, and diminished face-to-face interactions, all vital for mental well-being. A recent study in the Indian Journal of Psychiatry revealed that 22% of Indian college students now suffer from borderline personality disorder, reflecting the adverse effects of digital technology on young minds. Dr. Neetu Narang, senior consultant at Amrita Hospital, stresses the importance of raising awareness about these risks, while Dr. Meenakshi Jain points out the dangers of cybercrimes and digital addiction, which contribute to issues like social withdrawal and self-harm. Experts emphasize the need for promoting healthy lifestyles and responsible technology use to prevent personality disorders and safeguard the mental health of today's youth.
All right, so that was that, and this is the real thing, man. So when you see your child withdrawn a little bit, but they steadily on these phones here, they steadily on their little devices. You know what I'm saying? But they're withdrawing, and they're not talking to you, and they're not, especially in the wintertime when the vitamin D is low, and when the activity of the day or the hustle and bustle of the day gets to be too much for a certain group, and they just rather retreat into their phone or retreat into the technology. And then if that persists over a period of time, you got maladjusted teenagers. You have teenagers that really don't know how to be kind of in the fray, you know mixing and socializing, even with their family, even with people that they're born into, even a culture and an acculturation that they're born into. They have this like really weird kind of maladjusted way of dealing with the world around them, and it's all because of the tech. That blue light, that kind of that dazzling, I guess, appearance of a longing, that YOLO, that FOMO that most people are chasing out here. You know what I mean? Putting them into states of mental health crisis. Um, and we're gonna talk about them teens, man, because they're the future, especially the teens and the young adults. They're the future. They're gonna be the ones to lead us into the greener pastures and the progressiveness of tomorrow. And we can't have a bunch of socially regressed young people because that's what tomorrow is going to look like. So before we get too deep in it, we want to welcome Brother Mozzie to the show. Peace, bro. How are you?
Hey, I'm all right. How's it going?
Pretty good, man. We're talking about this. We're in the middle of a mass up, smash up. We're doing our melanated mental health moment and our AAT report mashed up, smashed up together. And we're talking about, has Trump's executive orders exacerbated the country's mental health crisis, along with the the advents and the longing for technology? What say you?
I say it has because many people have lived under certain falsehoods.
Yes.
There are a lot of melanated folks who walk around really thinking that they've arrived
Mm,
and that they're above race and racism, although they
okay.
give lip service to it.
Okay.
And then you have white people who, although they tried not to recognize it, one of the things they are, one is very race. They have that psychopathic racial personality. They're very
Right.
concerned with blackness, but they don't realize it because, you know, they make decisions thinking that it's every decision that's made is always going to affect black people and not us. So they think they're removed from the general connectedness of things that go on in this country. So they're
Mm,
walking around in a world of not knowing and understanding and a non-reality. So when you get, I turn on the news this morning as I get
right.
up and just can listen to the corporate media and see what they're peddling us. And the lady's like, she can't
Mm-hmm.
believe that she lost her job, her government job.
Mm.
I just can't believe I lost my
Oh
job.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
He
did
said
see
he was
that.
going to cut
Oh, you talking about
federal
the
jobs.
sister? You talking about the sister? Yeah, yeah.
And
I think it was a sister
no,
that
the
was
white girl,
kind
white
of
lady who
making
had
that
her,
remark.
had her Trump sign.
Oh, the white girl, really? Okay, so maybe it's both. Okay, because I
Yeah,
did see
white
a
girl who had
sister
her, white
in a
lady had
clip.
her, she had her Trump flag out in front of her house, took pictures of it. It's all over her social media. And
Mm,
the trick bag on her was Trump's going to make all these cuts, and all the black people who were under affirmative action and DEI are going to lose their jobs because they didn't earn it. Not
uh-huh.
realizing that she
The
was
rhetoric.
affirmative action and DEI. But even so, once again, they conflate our numbers. Somehow they think we're more involved in these things than what we really are. When we talk about
Right.
the Department of Education, ain't many of us working in the Department of Education. I was listening to someone had I don't know if it was on Instagram or TikTok or one of them that somebody sent me. I got to find it, but they basically started running down the statistics. They're like,
Right.
when you look at these, she broke down all the various areas, and they were high 80s and low 90 percentile of all white.
Yes.
So
Yes.
when he said he's going to cut Department of Education in half, and we only make up, let's say because we have so many of our people in education, 13% of State Department, Department of Education. Where do you think the other? If they took that 13% out, where the heck do you think the other 37% is going to come from?
Right.
They're saying we're just
Oh,
cutting it in half. And so
oh,
they don't view it
what's
like that. And that goes, because they listen to the pundits,
yeah.
and the pundits give them anecdotal stuff, and they
Yes.
give them, I want to say, they give them conclusions, whether they're correct or incorrect conclusion, but they don't give them the data that comes before that.
Right. The context.
Exactly.
That's what you're going over right now.
Yeah.
So I was gonna make a point, but I was
So
gonna make
yeah,
this point. I was gonna make this point a
people
little bit
being
later.
shot.
Yeah, go ahead. So I showed a video.
Oh, I'm sorry. We got
Well,
some serious lag going on.
oh, you can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but our lag is pretty bad right now.
Oh wow, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Hold on one second. I think somebody else is on. Oh, Sister Aurora's on. That's right.
Mhm.
Hey, sis, what's happening?
I'm
Hey.
good. How is
We're
that,
doing
Brother
well.
Mozzie?
That
Yeah, I'm
that
here, sis. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. How's things? You making out good?
Yeah, make it do what it do. Keep on moving.
No, all right.
soul to soul. That's how we do.
Yeah.
So you're absolutely right, brother Mozzie. They operate without the proper context, and it hurts all people, not just melanated folks. It hurts all people because it puts all people in this place or in this space of being ill-informed, moving in an ill-informed way, so the execution is poor. And then when the execution is poor and the outcomes aren't to the desired level that they want them to be, it turns out people have these mental and physical breakdowns. You know what I'm saying? Like you mentioned with the white lady who job went up in smoke over the DEI piece, and then I mentioned a sister that I saw, and the DEI job went up in smoke. And you know, but like I said before in the other show when we went over the DEI stuff, there are legal remedies for this stuff. That they operate in a very large context of abusing political policy rather than following the letter of the law. So if you look into the letter that was sent to that Trump put out there as to in his administration put out there as to why they wanted to do all of the DEI slashes and whatever that amounted to. It was very shallow. It was very like any first second year law student could rip that apart based on just pure jurisprudence. They could rip that apart because there was no defined terms for what DEI was, who DEI affected, who you understand what I'm saying. So in a
Yep.
court of law, that wouldn't hold up. But what did it do? It caused a mass hysteria. If nothing else, it made people manageable. It made people fall in line. It made people, you could dictate now. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Because there's been this long running attempt to have complete control over the people.
Yes.
You know what I
Yes.
mean? And also
Yes.
too, there was a white lady that I saw. She was working for the IRS because the IRS started cutting back, and she
Yes.
lost her job at the IRS. Another Trumper. And
Wow.
once again, they have
Mm.
this disconnect, and this had nothing to do with DEI. This was they're cutting the IRS,
Uh-huh.
and she literally, you can just see her, man. She just can't function right now.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then everybody's running around, especially the political class, watching their back, eyes over their shoulder. Um, Sister Aurora, what we're talking about, if you didn't see the clip that we played, we're in a AAT melanated mental health moment, and we're talking about how teens and people for that matter their mental health is in a state of crisis over the Trump executive orders. And also the age of tech kind of aligning with that as like a perfect storm, if you will. You know, you wake up, the first thing you do is you look at the blue screen. The blue screen tells you gloom and doom, and now you have to operate throughout your day instead of throwing on some Al Green or something that's gonna make you move. Throwing on some Parliament, some De La Soul, something that's gonna really put a battery in your back for the day. The first thing you're seeing is the gloom and doom. Trump
Mhm.
waving the magic wand, and everybody's going Mufasa, Mufasa, and bending the knee. and the adults don't have answers. So how do we think this affects the young people and the teens? What type of mental health state are our teens and our young people that are going to lead us in the next couple of years? You know what I'm saying? I'm headed for the Geritol crew. I ain't there yet, but I'm headed there. I ain't a fool. I'm not dumb. I'm headed there. I'm 50. I'm headed there. You know what I'm saying? But I want to know that we in good hands. I got to know that people got that dragon eye. They can see clear. What do you think? What do you think, sis? What do you think are the teens, good or bad? What do you think are teens' mental health state right now as of the state of technology and Trump's orders?
Some of the executive orders have gotten the younger people actually concerned and aware for what's going to happen to them. They're like, oh, you've had your time. Now all this is happening. What's going to happen to us? But even with the DI, I work with a lot of persons who are have mental health issues and other things. And some of they weren't looking at those as DEI cuts, and those cuts in terms of helping those with neurodivergent, learning and all of that is affecting the schools. So it's good that in New York, the governor kind of made a law so that we have a kind of a stay, but that's not going to help get the federal funds down. And so they're concerned, of what's happening with my class. Why is my class being, I just heard in, what is it called, special education class being merged with a larger class because they are losing certain funds. So people didn't recognize that wasn't just, he was trying to hit just the black and brown folks, but it hit all folks with all kinds of disabilities. The reason I can get in and out of buildings is because those ramps are there, and things like that. So
Mm,
people weren't thinking about that at the time.
mm,
They didn't know how much it was affecting. They were just looking at the DEI being a black and brown cause and not recognizing that helped you during your pregnancy, keep your job. It helped with a lot of different things. So defining DEI was not what they were doing. They thought it was going to eradicate all black and brown, learning abilities and other things that they feel is being given, but those things were earned. And so, yeah, young people are like, wait a minute, you already had your time. What you doing for us? And should we? And now they're doubting. Well, should we plan our future? Does it matter? They kind of come back from college kids. Does it really matter now since we're doing this? All of this is cut. It's like you have 4 years. So just hang on and keep your eyes on your prize and keep going for what you know. And that's about as much as we can tell young folks today because we just don't know.
right.
Well, what's interesting is that, we have to keep making sure we let people know that one, the trick bag is on us again. Because
Right.
we're assuming that once again that black people are being affected. We're not being affected when we're not in that arena. You know what I mean? And it's tough for white people, and because once again, there's an assumption that there's a lot of us in a lot of these places that every day we just realize that we're not in those places. So I don't know who your boogeyman is. You know what I mean? But the second thing is, where it affects us is, once again, there's a lot of us who've been told, go to college. And when you go to college, a lot of our students are getting out and they're not going into the private sector. They're going into some government related sector.
Mm-hmm.
And so what that's going to do now is that they're realizing that's an arena that might be overly competitive now or may no longer exist. And so we really have to work with our young folks and say we have to start creating our own, not just doing content, but actually programming the systems that allow us to do content. There's a chance for entrepreneurship, but being a brand ambassador in itself is based on conspicuous consumption. So that's not being an entrepreneur. You have to produce something. We used to be producers at one time. That's why when we stepped off the plantation, that's why throughout, Jim Crow, semi-slavery, they always said they kept us around so much because
Mm-hmm.
they had problems that needed to be solved, and we solved those problems. We didn't get the credit for it, but we still solved the problems. And
Mm-hmm.
so we just have to be those people all over again. And we got to show and this is why this show is important, and other shows like this that talks about not just the state of affairs, but also some historical stuff. And we got to understand, these kids got to understand that, we got a great history that we come from here in this country, in spite of all the craziness,
Right.
in spite of the crack epidemic, in spite of the fact they were just snatching you up off the street and lynching you and everything else. So we have to make sure we push that, because what it'll do is it'll give our kids a sense of calmness that a lot of them are not getting. But I will say this: as long as they're not watching Channel Zero and listen to the hype of corporate media, I don't think that a lot of our kids will really be affected by a lot of this, because I know when I go into the school, some of these kids are just not in tune to what's going on in current affairs.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
So
You'll ask them something and they'll just be, the question
just
mark.
glaze over, man.
You'll see the question mark on their forehead as big as that. Huh? What's that? And we be like, is water wet? Are you not paying attention? Like, what's going on?
So they are in a virtual world, man. They
I'm in
really are.
agreement. I'm in agreement there. So there is room for a kind of an uprising or a brand new branding of sorts to get us in areas where we can be self-sufficient, sovereign, and build our own progressiveness moving forward. And if that means at a certain point, we got to kind of pull away from, the larger context of what this country is about and do our own thing, then that's what it means. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
think about this. A lot of our kids, based on what you hear and see from those people, unless some of our people are telling us some fibs, a lot of our kids are living on like a meal a day and ramen noodles and stuff. Like if we just talking about Rochester. So as far as not having anything, they're already prepared to not have anything. And being young in America, being young and black in America, you still living under a certain level of tyranny. So I hate to say you're adjusted to that. You're adjusted to some of the hard times. You're adjusted to some of the craziness. So yes, we're going to still have our issues, but our issues aren't going to be as deep and I'm talking about the average normal person in America, not the our bourgeois class and their children. Those are the ones who are really going to have mental health issues, because a lot of them pretty much do now. When they end up going to all white schools, and then their parents want to send them off to Virginia State and places like that. And they're like, I don't know how to function around all these black people. So those are the ones who are going to have the bigger mental health issues compared to the average kid, for example, that's in the Rochester City School District, who may venture out around this planet.
Yeah, man. I'll follow up, and we can ready to move away from this particular segment into the other one. But I'll say this: if you are experiencing a teen that has like withdrawal symptoms or mental health issues or things like that, I would recommend tech diet. If they're still under your roof and they're still, in a school capacity, I would give them like, for every hour of the tech, you owe me 4 hours of something else, some sort of, some other discipline. Working out, reading a book, putting your hands on something, creating something. That give me that 4-to-1 ratio, and we're good. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. Sister Aurora, you the last on this topic. Anything to say?
No, I think y'all have said it all. There's so
Okay.
much There's so much that's happening and so much to say about it. I think y'all said it all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Also, have your kids watch the show. Have your kids tune in so they could get that alternative information than what they're getting on their devices. Right now, we're
Right.
going to jump into a lit city report, the wild, the wacky, the wonderful things that make our world go round. And I want to show y'all a video real quick. It's not more a video, more like a post, but it's in video form. And it's about Willie the Tech Man Jenkins. And he developed the first patent for drone technology. Very,
Oh,
very interesting. Um, so I thought we should check that out for half a second and see what it do there. Hold on, let me get some folder. There we go. All right, here we go. Real HD show.
Some drive by with the stick to distracting the vision. Oh Lord, what about the fucking children? Only.
All right. I thought that had more of a kind of layout of his accomplishments. So let me see if I can get that out. Willie, so, I didn't know it was just music, so we're gonna get to it. Give me 1 second. All right, so Willie the Tech Man Jenkins. Here we go. As soon as that loads up, we'll be good to go. Instagram moving slow. Yeah, in a heartfelt tribute to a forgotten innovator, the city of Los Angeles commemorated the legacy of Willie Tuckman Jenkins, an African American inventor who pioneered drone technology in 1982. His groundbreaking contributions, achievements were buried by the weight of systemic racism that plagued the era, leaving his name and inventions obscured from history. Born and raised in the vibrant streets of LA, Jenkins possessed an insatiable curiosity for tech at a young age. With integrity and determination, he tirelessly worked toward his inventions, creating unmanned aerial vehicles that would revolutionize industries. Jenkins' breakthrough came in 1982 when he unveiled the very first working drone, marking a significant milestone in aviation history. His invention promised unprecedented opportunities in surveillance, aerial photography, and even humanitarian aid. Systematic racism barred him from obtaining patents and investment opportunities critical for the widespread adoption of his technology, resulting his invention remained largely unrecognized, overshadowed by the achievement of his white counterparts. Today, Los Angeles on 4 News Los Angeles uh, recognizes him and gives a plaque to his as a testament to the resilience and perseverance of individuals like Willie Techman Jenkins, whose contributions transcended the limitations imposed by society. Not only a visionary inventor, but a symbol of hope and inspiration for future generations. They had a ceremony at Los Angeles City Hall with leaders, activists, and community people. Um, and it was a great, groundbreaking ceremony to, I guess, a corner of a park that they dedicated to him. And Willie Techman Jenkins, the inventor of drone technology. Y'all thoughts?
It was nice to see that they actually, honored their brother.
Yeah,
You know, and it's not about whether or not it's a brother or not. Just acknowledge and show appreciation for what people have done.
yeah,
Period.
yeah.
And that right there will go a long way.
Yeah, I thought this fell in line with some of the things that you were saying a little while ago about how we have remarkable things that we've done over the course of us being in this country, and that our young people can use as motivation and inspiration. And Willie the Tech Man Jenkins is certainly one in that way. Sister Aurora, your thoughts?
So- Sorry, I didn't know I was muted. I'm glad that we can sit there and honor folks who do bring these groundbreaking discoveries, because it just didn't break in the United States, it's global. So it's
Hmm.
really good when we do that. But even that acknowledgement, or having a public acknowledgement, had been taken away by some of the executive orders. You see them painting the streets and things like that nowadays, from Black Lives Matter to, okay, we don't care if this is a life that gave us something valuable. So again, that's all tied into all the what's being cut from the executive orders.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, we have to, and Brother Mozzie, you gotta let me know what you think about what I'm about to say. We have to find a better way of traditionalizing our own ish.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah.
that's what it boils down to. We got, I'm a broadcaster. I work through a radio station. I work through a television network. I have affiliations all over the country. We have to find, and whoever has that agency and that wherewithal, you got to find better ways of traditionalizing what's important. I made up my own word. Traditionalized what's important to us and what's valuable to us. You know what I'm saying? Let's
Right.
let's go let's go back to start having parades on
Yeah.
our significant days. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Malcolm X Day, where's the parade? Martin Luther King Day, where's the parade?
Yeah.
Harriet Tubman Day, where's the parade?
Yeah.
We got to start. Marcus Garvey Day, where's the parade?
Mm-hmm.
Where's it at? Ida B. Wells Day, parade. We gotta turn up. You know what I mean? Show out and make
Yeah.
people know that our stuff is valuable.
And we can't just have white parties because Frankie Beverly passed.
Right. Facts.
Now we can acknowledge that, but that just can't all be what it is.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, let's move on from that because we got the great sister who was a warrior with her voice, and she got something to say about art music, man. Art and music. Um, Sister Nina Simone says, "Jazz is what jazz is a term them folks term to define our music. My music is black classical music. What say you
Mm.
guys to that?
I grew up on the stuff, man. I'm with it 100%, man.
You and me both.
My grandmother was a pianist,
Fire.
and many of my family members were in the industry, in the 50s and the 60s, and had record label and all that good stuff, man. And my great grandparents had uh, down in Binghamton, they had like a 7-bedroom mansion that they used for when all the performers would come into town, because they couldn't stay in hotels. That's where they would stay. So I was very fortunate to have in my just in family records and stuff like that, pictures of my grandmother in particular, and how she became to be a piano player, sitting with Count Basie, you know, sitting
Hmm.
with Duke Ellington,
Yes.
and the list goes on.
Yes. Yes.
And she was learning black classical music.
Yes. You sound like that was a whole Lackawanna blues
Hey, man.
situation. You know what I mean? Just,
Yeah, yeah.
you
You
rather
know,
stay with folk than to be staying in the back with the mother folk. You know what I mean?
exactly.
You know? Fire, fire, fire. Let's get to the warrior, sis. We celebrating Women's History Month right now. There's not a lot of talk about her in the recent comings and goings of our, you know, people that contributed a lot. She's a great orator. She really lifted the spirit and the pride of sisters and young people and men, for that matter. So to get see a sister like this get out there and tell it like it is was very inspiring. Let's listen to the word of Eldridge Cleaver, Real HD Show. Here we go.
And we just wear it like this because it's natural, because the reason for it, you might say, is like a new awareness among black people that their own natural appearance, its physical appearance is beautiful and it's pleasing to them. For so many years, we were told that only white people were beautiful. Only straight hair, light eyes, light skin was beautiful. And so black women would try everything they could, straighten their hair and lighten their skin to look as much like white women. But this has changed because black people are aware. And white people are aware of it too, because white people now want natural wigs. They want wigs like this. Dig it? Isn't it beautiful? All right.
Black is beautiful. Bring her.
Hey, we love
Black
that.
is beautiful.
Let's get it. Let's get a soul clap for that. Yo, love it, love it, love it. Love to hear those words. It doesn't really matter how you use it, where you hear, as long as you are mentally there. You guys' thoughts on Sister Eldridge Cleaver and some of her powerful words, and why don't you think we hear more of her, discography, if you will, and some of her wise words that she bestowed on people? She was quite a mouthpiece.
I think some of it is related to the fact that Elder Cleaver was he was that dude, and God forbid anything connected to him that gets to leak out is going to create. They feel may create the problem it created from when he was alive.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't want to do that. We don't want nothing connected to this dude to ever get out.
Mm-hmm.
And then also she spoke very positive about blackness, and that would be a total dichotomy from where we are now when we start talking about blackness. When we think about blackness now, even when we talk about it, we never talk about it in a positive way. And so
Right.
if you want people to, and we think a lot of times that, unfortunately, we think a lot of things are happenstance or whatever, but things are done purposely, man. You don't get to where we are in this world today with the kind of technology we have, with some of the great things that's been accomplished by things you just happen to stumble upon, blood plasma. You just happen to stumble upon how to create telephones and cell phones and networking equipment and all that. You don't happen to stumble upon these things. You actually sit back and you think about these things, and you think about solving problems, and and then as you learn more, you realize you being equipped with the information and knowledge to create more. But if you don't want people to do that, then you start pulling them away from the things that gives them that motivation, as you mentioned earlier, to be better and do better.
Yeah, Sister Aurora, what do you think of Kathleen Cleaver and Brother Eldridge Cleaver and their legacy, and why don't we hear more from them as to, their brilliant oratorical skills, and they were hella motivating. So at
Mm-hmm.
least for us, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Yeah, well, that's what's missing. Somebody like Kathleen Cleaver, if she was going to the slave theater, we'd be all in our cars heading that way. They don't. This generation, and really this generation and the generation before it, the millennials and the Gen Zs, that's not what's motivating them. And
Mm,
somehow it was a lost art, I would say. But
mm,
there's people like us who are consciousness, and sometimes I still sit there and shake my head and say, oh gosh, it's my fault that my kids don't know this person or that person. Where you grew up around these posters of these people and these books and things like that. But it's not like when we were growing up. We were in search of, knowledge of self.
Yeah.
We were in search of just even being able to be around panthers. I mean, I grew up around panthers and
Hey,
Black
hey, let's
Panthers,
go.
and in that scope, aside from the Black Panthers, but that's where, the Garveyites were there teaching us and pulling that. And so we became curious. And, for some of us, we became, the earth is ours and the fullness thereof. So we believed it, we walked it, and we talked it. But then it became hard. You always sit there and see everybody who was an activist. I mean, just like Kathleen Cleaver, she's teaching. I don't know if she's at Yale still, but I know she was there for a while. But she was a professor, Nikki Giovanni, professor. All those who could teach did teach, came back into that realm. But that caught our generation. It didn't catch the generation now. You have a guest lecturer at the schools. They're looking for. I think Oprah, or and not to say nothing wrong with that, but you're looking for the Oprahs, you're looking for the the entertainers and not the edutainers. And so that's one of the things that it was in us, and it's not, and we somehow did not instill it as we should have in our kids. Yeah, they came along when we had to go to see something, or we dragged them along, but did they actually learn from being dragged? No, they were dragged along. You put something in front of them so you could hear the speaker. You didn't sit there and here, take this phone or take this little play toy, so while I'm listening to the speaker. So we didn't engage that way. Where my parents, you were engaged. You didn't come there just to be out of the way or a second babysitter. You came there to hear and listen. And then on the way home, they would say, well, what did you hear? What did you think?
Yeah.
What was that? And we just don't have those conversations that,
Yeah.
we need to build that back up. I mean, when people go to college, their first time in college, and especially if they're going, we used to say born again Negroes, or something that came out because people just did, all of a sudden someone called them out of their name. And now they're in a setting that says, well, you're not supposed to sit and take that, or, how we have the Greek, the Greek letters. So you have the 9, there is a different motivating force to why you wanted to go somewhere else. And right now we're just into the entertainers, we're not edutaining anymore. And so,
Mm.
that's what we've lost.
Hey, we need more edutainment. I couldn't agree more. And despite the hysteria, despite the fact that Trump has people in borderline mental health crises, right?
Mhm.
Rashad King Bolden had some really interesting things to say about some of these new Trump, policies that are going on. And he had something interesting. He had an interesting, I guess, resolution to some things, and I wanted to show that. Really, see show. Check it out.
So-called gold card program, visa program. You've heard about this? He's offering residency and a path to citizenship for $5 million. This is not an immigration policy, it's a fire sale. Citizenship is just another product on the shelf. I mean, why not tweak that program? Allow Americans to sell their citizenship for $5 million. Now that makes sense. Let struggling Americans get paid and move out of that country with their newfound millions. That's a program I could get behind. Imagine if, for instance, just say 10% of African Americans could sell their citizenship for $5 million each. That's roughly 5 million new millionaires, $25 trillion between them. I'm just saying African Americans because they have the most obvious reasons for being interested in selling their citizenship, since they don't get much out of it in the first place. But if you offered a program like that in reality, well, I think that you'd see that country empty out.
What y'all think, man? Rashad King Bolden, man. He always gonna say something controversial. He's always gonna tell it like it is, and he has a kind of a thread that resonates with our tribe. So I play what the brother got to say. What y'all think?
You know, sound like a great plan to me. Give me 5 minutes. I'm out. You know, I'm gone. And I can find me. Don't worry about it. Let me be responsible for selling it. I get it sold. You just let me go when I want to go.
Right.
And let me put it in the bank that I want to put it in, not the bank you're going to make me put it in.
Correct.
And I'll be gone tomorrow. And you ain't got everybody worry about us no more.
Going to
And that's the
November,
part,
huh?
that's the part that's so ironic and it's so crazy about just this country. You don't want a certain group of people here, but you don't create a situation or allow them to leave. If I don't want you, man, if I don't want you that much, I'm giving you bus fare to get back home. Matter of fact, here, man, let me call you a cab. You know what I'm saying? Give me some greenbacks that ain't got no freaking, it ain't backed by nothing, and send me on my way. Some fiat money, I'm good with that. I take it and go.
Give me some of that fiat money y'all changing up anyway.
Yeah.
How about it?
You know what I'm
Give it
saying?
to me. Give it to me before you change it, though. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's
Sister
the part. It's
Aurora,
just
what you
that's the
think?
part that's just so weird about it all, man. But I want to
Sister
throw
Aurora,
something out there, a book out there, because then we was talking about, how we Sister Aurora was talking about how we used to go to lectures and we do all that different stuff, and we don't do that anymore. And we have to take some responsibility because our generation really, because I know sometimes with my kids, I would go to a lecture, they would sit there, but my daughter would sit there. My son just never really, he was a, Mr. Wiggle Man. So you got to, get up and let him go do what he got to do. But as he got older, and I felt he was at an age where he could sit there and listen. I didn't put that on him like that. And so what ended up happening is he didn't get to listen to what I listened to, and so we couldn't have that conversation. So I would always tell him what I listened to, and I think sometimes in some of that he needed to hear it for himself. So I can teach him all day, but it's always different when it comes from somebody else that that's echoing the same thing that you've been echoing in the car when you're riding everywhere and stuff like that. And I was always, when we went on vacation, when we drove around, I mean, we had a van, we put on 300,000 miles on that van. We driving everywhere. I always had a lecturer,
Right.
but
Right.
I think we have to take responsibility, a lot of our generation who especially grew up under the lecture model, that we didn't pretty much kind of put that on our kids. You know what I mean? And I think some of it too. And here's a great book. You're familiar with Aldous Huxley?
Yes.
He has a great book. He has a great book talking about the technology of control.
Yes.
And a lot of that, when you read it, mirrors what we got and what's going on today and how technology, because we think because we got all this technology, we can do so much. But what we didn't realize, that technology took us and took our kids into a whole new different world. We didn't live in a world of technology. I mean, we were living in the world of budding technology, but they now live in a whole new virtual world. So we never really married that such that it allowed us to give the kids what we had. Because when you start thinking about, all the stuff, that's the 1,000 points of light that's coming at them every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's hard to absorb all that and to stay focused.
Hard to compete with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one reason why in schools, why school, you think about it, you get on this video game, or if you watching, your parents got a nice LCD or QLED 4K TV at home, it's incredible. It's incredible.
Yeah.
And then now you're going through that, and say you got your video game hooked up to your parents' 65-inch, QLED TV. It's incredible what it's doing to the brain. And now you go to school, the lighting ain't as good. And even though it's real, it just don't have that effect.
Yeah, the what would you call that? The instant gratification isn't as high. I'm gonna
Yeah.
bring Sister Aurora back in, so she could tell us what she thinks about Rashad King Bolden's take on Black American citizenship. You selling yours for 5 million and going to the motherland, sis? What you about to do?
No, I wouldn't be selling
You going to the Caribbean? Where you headed to?
I said, my family's done too much work here to sit there and play
Ah,
ground.
interesting.
You got to come better than 5 million.
Interesting. Interesting.
So no, I won't. I wouldn't be selling. I wouldn't be selling mine.
Okay. you
But
gotta
that's
admit,
just me.
you gotta admit this is an interesting take though.
It is definitely. Remember, it was. I mean, it's nothing is new under the sun. And so
Yes.
Marcus Garvey had said the same thing. Hey, y'all want to come over here? Let's go. Let's start Liberia. Let's start this first. I mean, were you leaving your blood, sweat, and tears to go blood, sweat, and tears again? I mean, no. I mean, there's there's a history, there's a marker where those of my ancestors that came before me, they earn, it's not that they earn it, they have the right. They were born and they had the right here, and they made things happen, and they made things happen in many states. So yeah.
So I guess at the
I like
heart,
that.
of what the doctor was talking about was the fact that Trump is making this grandiose offer to the geniuses of other places to come
Mhm.
over here on the gold card and get their American on, get their USA on. Why not do that for your own here? Especially those who need it the most. You know? Yeah.
And why not give 5 million to any kid that can come up with some new technology that we
Right.
could mass produce? Because if you're working for Kodak or Xerox or Microsoft, if you come up with something new, they own it, and you don't get nothing more but the paycheck you've been getting.
That's
So
right.
here's a real incentive to make America great again, is to come up with something that would allow America to produce and be the juggernaut it used to be.
Yeah. Well, you know how that you know that saying is cap. What they're really saying is make America great the way we like it.
Yeah.
It's really not about make it great again, because all you had to do is execute a healthy reparations or something what Rashad King Bolden proposed, and you'll lift the entire economy out of stagnation overnight if you kind of move that way. And you hear the Trump people talking about stimulus checks, and you hear all of the usual talking points that a new president will kick out there to get the people on his side, to get the public opinion on his side.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. What y'all think about this AI technology? What y'all thoughts on that?
It's where it was headed, man. I mean, just because we have AI technology doesn't mean that AI technology has to be utilized to replace humans. Just
Hmm.
like robots do not have to be utilized to replace humans. I mean, if I own Amazon, I'm already owning the world because of how big my company is. Do I really need to hire robots now? And then if I have robots, but that goes to show you when they don't, most of their money does not come from them buying, and everybody think it's a big warehouse to buy everything. Um, but just the fact that you people want to buy product and there's no humans there to work there. So how can they buy products? Because if we don't have any humans there, they're not making any money, which trickled down because that then mean the supermarket's not making any money. The shoe store's not making any money. So now everybody's not making money. Where are we going to buy these products from? So are we going to have to go to a basic universal income?
Hmm. Interesting. What's your thoughts, Sister Aurora? We going to UBI? AI is leading us into UBI. What's
Yeah,
happening?
like as Trekkies say, resistance is futile. Okay, it's been here. It's been here. It's now being allowed to be used by the public, but it's been here. If you've ever worked in areas when they started with something simple as Grammarly, when you put your paper in to check your notes and stuff like that. Uh, they were just sharing you little bits and pieces, but then boom, everybody thinks it's just wow, all of a sudden it's here. No, it's been here, and they've been spoon feeding it so you can get used to using it. But just like with every age of discovery or age of, the inventor's age, or, you know, we're always thinking that, well, yeah, this is going to put us out of a job, or this is going to or minimize our jobs. So it's here. Resistance is futile, and you just have to be able to learn it, to use it the best way that you can use it. You know, I mean, and that's all I have to say on it. You do what's best for you and how you use it.
Yeah,
I
brother
think it's
Mozzie. I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
no, no,
Brother
no,
Mozzie
that's
and
all right.
myself had made some points earlier. If you go back, I don't know, maybe not last year or so, we made some points about kind of this, tech AI tech wave, and especially when it came to all of the goofies going crazy over TikTok being eliminated, and we were saying
Mm-hmm.
how much Asian products tech related have already been in your home,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody knows what that motherboard is doing in your TV. Nobody knows what the motherboard and that transistor radio is doing. Nobody
Yep.
knows what the motherboard in your Google Home or whatever device,
Mm-hmm.
iPad, iPod, whatever it was. It's been here for quite a while. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And like we found out about the video games, it may be a two-way gateway going on with the situation, and
Mm-hmm.
we'll have no way of knowing it. But it was all right to fill our house up with all kind of Asian products.
That's right.
But
You know,
now the U.S. wants to ban DeepSeek AI from government devices, and by default, they mean most devices, because they believe that it's harmful to the people. You guys familiar with DeepSeek at all?
I've been using it for the past 3 weeks.
Oh wow. Okay, so that's good. You can tell us a little bit about it and your experience with it. What's your thought?
It is definitely uh, its learning capabilities is a little better. Some of its uh, the information that it gives you and the way it gives it to you is a little bit more robust, and it also gives you options. If you're looking to have something done, it'll give you more options, and actually, it just seems like better options than you get off of that you get off of Chat GPT.
Okay.
mm-hmm.
Okay. What do y'all think about the whole Morpheus piece of it, of a DeepSeek? The Morpheus AI algorithm. So they're saying
Mhm.
that it can basically, it's a tech that can interface with the brain. Um, it's the first AI focused on using targeted ultrasound brain stimulation to trigger controllable conscious dream on demand. Prophetic AI has developed a headband device called a Halo that will detect when the wearer is in REM sleep and then use Morpheus 1 to induce lucid dreams based on their desired themes, and the user selects the amount of time. The technology aims to safely expand human consciousness. Wow. I mean,
That's what we talked. Wasn't it last week we talked about how they're removing their heads and putting them on different bodies,
yeah. Yep.
But
and
Yep.
remember,
now you can put people into a long term suspended sleep.
And then implant your own
Yeah,
whatever up in there.
and all the
Um,
while he learning how to do calligraphy and learning how to sew and thinking about being on the beach chasing after some women all at the same time. And then now once we perfect, which I think we have, the cryo stage, now we just create warehouses where we can store them. You know, sound like a demolition man to me.
Sound like it, yeah, man. Sister
Sound like the
Aurora,
Matrix.
what's your
Yeah.
thoughts? What's your thoughts?
It sounds like the Matrix again. Nothing's new under the sun. So, and that sister wrote the Matrix long ago, and then other folks tried to steal it from her. Well, they did steal it from her, but put it on screen. The Matrix is telling what DeepSeek is saying. It uses your brain waves or connects to your brain waves to make a better, as they say, a better tool by saying that it's human, it's more human. What's the word I'm looking for? Well, they're more humanized. They're saying that it's not coming from an algorithm, it's coming from brainwaves. So if you're going to at night put me to sleep and put me into a deep sleep state where I can be running at the beach, while I'm asleep or waking up wet, there's nothing new under the sun. That's what I'm saying. The Matrix had brought this out years ago, and they would say, if you see it on TV, and what was his name? George Lucas, when he came out with Star Wars, because he also had a connection with the Defense Fund. And so everything that we're using now, flipping phones and everything, and it's been played out in front of us, and in ways that we can imagine.
We talked earlier about the teens, right? And how the teens were, in a state of mental health crisis. And I noticed specifically because my daughter was in high school during the pandemic. And that's when they had to go full tech all day, every day, because they weren't in school. And if anybody knows about a lot of the Asian areas, they've been full tech for going on 2 decades now, right? Being fully technology integrated, but it's creating like bad habits with them, right? And they have to go to like habit, like a Betty Ford for tech junkies, They got to go to camp, sleepaway camp for tech junkies, video game junkies, They're addicted to the tech, right? And they're saying that this deep sleep program here, it's a therapy. It's a brain-induced therapy that a lot of Asians are using right now in Korea and Japan and a lot of the modernized areas of the Orient to get a lot of this tech anxiety and PTSD off the brain and begin to breathe again, woosah, if you will, right? So a question I have for everybody here is this a what do you call that? Is this a Hegelian dialectic? Did they create a problem and give us the solution for it? Because isn't it the blue light that's preventing us from sleeping? Isn't it the blue light and the FOMO and the YOLO and the attention seeking all over social media and the flashing lights and the buzzwords and the immediate gratification? Isn't that what's making us sick? And now they want to use AI to help for therapy, for brain therapy. What's the
Well, it's technology of control, man. We got to do something with the people.
That was interesting.
Hey, check this out. In Aldous Huxley's book, Brave New World, he basically, and in general, in terms of a lot of stuff that he talked about, he tried to warn us that if we focus too much on material and physical pleasures, ignored the ethics behind advanced technology, and ignored the responsibility of democracy, they would ultimately be taken under control and lose their individuality. So this stuff has been kind of foretold, man. And what happens is, if we don't keep that to the forefront of our brain, we're going to pretty much just lose who we are as people, as humans.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I
You
want to
know,
play.
and
I want to play a clip about what some people are ruminating about. Some of the dangers are in concerns with this. And y'all let me know what y'all think at the end of the clip. Here we go. Real HD Show.
Or some encryption system, right? China uses different encryption than NIST defines, the US NIST, because there's clearly, at least they think there's backdoors in it, right? What happens when the models are backdoors not just to computer systems, but to our minds?
Yeah, they're cultural backdoors. The thing that amplifies...
There could be some secret Chinese government sort of requirement for these models to have a certain kind of backdoor, to have some kind of thing where...
I don't necessarily think it'll be a backdoor, right? Because once it's open weights, it doesn't like phone home. It's more about like if it recognizes a certain system, it could like if now it could be a backdoor in the sense of like, hey, if you're building a software, something in software, all of a sudden it's a software agent. Oh, program this backdoor that only we know about. Or it could be like subvert the mind to think that like XYZ opinion is the correct one.
Anthropic has research on this where they show that if you put certain phrases in at pre-training, you can then elicit different behavior when you're actually using the model because they've like poisoned the pre-training data.
Trained to, okay, how can we, the front door looks like a happy LLM, but underneath it's a thing that will over time do the maximum amount of damage to our quote unquote enemies.
There's this very good quote from Sam Altman who, he can be a hype beast sometime, but one of the things he said, and I think I agree, is that superhuman persuasion will happen before superhuman intelligence. Yeah. Right?
That's a major concern as we rely more and more on these kinds of systems.
I mean, we've already seen this with recommendation systems.
Yeah, recommendation systems hack the dopamine-induced reward circuit, but the brain is a lot more complicated. And what other sort of circuits, quote-unquote, feedback loops in your brain can you hack / subvert in ways like recommendation systems are purely just trying to do, increase time and ads and et cetera. But there's so many more goals that can be achieved through these complicated models.
There's no reason...
Over the past year, I had a few stretches of time where I didn't use social media or the internet at all and just read books and was out in nature, and it clearly has an effect on the mind where like it changed. Like I feel like I'm returning. Of course, I was raised before the internet really took off, but I'm returning to some more...
I know where you're going. I mean, you can see it physiologically. Like I take 3 days if I'm like backpacking or something, and you're literal like you're breaking down addiction cycles.
I feel like I'm more in control of my mind. There feels like a sovereignty of intelligence that's happening when I'm disconnected from the internet.
All right, so that's it right there. And that talk they were talking about this DeepSeek model, especially the brain, modality and functionality of it. And in saying that there could be backdoors to, especially if it's a foreign-based product. And now, it could be a backdoor to persuasion. It could be a backdoor to mental, I guess, mentally training you. Is this this could wind up being some sort of, I guess, depending on your politics, depending on how you see politics going in the next couple of years, China, Asia versus the US, they can be grooming American folks to do and to seek out what they want, seek out their agendas through these back doors. If you watched our show on when we did the video games, and we found out that there were back doors to Asian-based video games where they actually can, have a camera on you, watch your movements and watch your gameplay and what you're about and what your all your statistics, and it takes a caption of your vitals at the time, and whether your temperature's high or low or fast or slow, or your reactions or your whatever. What do y'all think about the video, and what do y'all think of America buying wholesale into this DeepSeek brain technology that could be a backdoor to some political, fooling around. You know what I mean? Some political uh, espionage. What do y'all think?
Well, we always think that there's going to be a great World War III, and we're going to be fighting the Chinese. And meanwhile, we're going to be fighting ourselves because we're the ones
Mm.
who are technology junkies. We will buy anything, not caring where it come from, and we're willing to try anything. That's why people are getting the what's the guy's name? Tesla guy. What's his name again? Everybody's getting the Elon chip put in their brain, and the chips are made in China. They got the deep seek backdoor going on, and here's the funny thing: while we're sitting here and all Billy Joe Jim Bob and them are complaining about 5G and look at what it does to your brain waves. The Chinese are working on 10G right about now.
Yes.
Ain't that something?
Yes.
They're on 10G and we on 5, and we're bitching about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So imagine what's going to happen when those chips, all these people go and get the chips. And here's the other way they're going to get it, because you heard what the guy said. He talking about headbands, earbuds, headphones, the things that people and kids have on all the time. And what it's going to do, that 10G technology, zap, bing, boom. Now they got control. You walking around, the walking alive, I should say, doing, zombies.
Yeah, man. I was listening to the Joe Rogan podcast, and he had I have it as a video, but I don't want to have to like zoom through it. He was interviewing a brother, a young man who was paraplegic, and he said he used the Deep Seek Morpheus, not Morpheus. Well, yeah, I guess you can call it Morpheus program, but it's Deep Seek nonetheless. He used the Deep Seek tech, and of course, that population of people, that demo of people need the speech to text situation. They
Yeah.
need the speech to driving scenario. They need to have the smart houses the most because they're incapacitated like that, and their gait is more extreme than others. But he said out of his own mouth that the acculturation of the technology is so sharp and so ahead of the curve that the thing will do what you want it to do before you even think it.
Hey.
The tech will do what you try to do. Y'all ever been on chat GPT, or even now Google at this point, and you're typing up an email or you're typing up something, and they'll finish your sentence for you. I'm trying to so and so. We're gonna send you the shipment on Tuesday, and have a
Yeah.
nice day. That's not what I wanted to say. I hate this dude. I don't want him to have a nice day. I just want my stuff on Tuesday. I don't want him to have a nice day.
But that goes to show you that
Telling me what to say.
but that
You
goes
ahead
to
of me.
show you that so much data has been collected that it can predict what you're going to say.
Yeah.
Because we thinking right now that it may be, maybe reading some brainwaves or whatever else. I think at this point, it's just so much data has been collected via our cell phones in particular, which are always around us and we're always talking, and it's constantly downloading that information. To talking on our cell phones, to typing on our computers. So the amount of data is just mind-boggling, and the AI can think its way through that such to where you're writing and it knows your writing style or your thought process.
Socialize to do it. Socialize. How do most Americans prefer their steak, Sister Aurora? How do most Americans prefer their mac and cheese and their pizza? You know what I'm saying? Pepperoni with a little bit of what's the stuff on it? The little bit of, I don't eat it. I don't eat beef, but pepperoni with the what's the little
cheese.
meat? What's the little meaty things they put on there? Pepperoni and
Isn't pepperoni the meat?
right, but there's little ground beef that they put on there. That's like they
Oh.
Sausage.
sausage. There you go. Most Americans want their pepperoni and sausage. So you got your order going and they finishing your order for you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what I wanted. That's not what you wanted at all. But they got you moving in that direction. Sister Aurora, you brought up something earlier. Ain't nothing new under the sun. It's always been here. Did the advent of social media early on become the gateway for what we're dealing with right now? Silicon Valley insiders say Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter are using behavioral cocaine to turn people into addicts. So, as much as we like to blame the Ruskies and the folks at the other side of the sun, what's going on here? Were we romanced and bamboozled, led astray, set up for what we're dealing with now with the whole tech deprivation?
Mm, that's the question.
Were we set up? Do we, when you drop that like and you get the hearts and you're like, hey, somebody like my video? Were we set up? Did we get the, you know what I'm saying?
Well, because remember, you start seeing more of that kind of thing that you liked out of the blue, and all of a sudden you're like, well, daggone, now I got more of this in my, in my inbox or coming in my streams. My TikTok probably looks different from your TikTok, and the same as when I'm looking and thinking, my kids says, oh, did you see this? It's like, how come I don't have that on my TikTok? But and the moment I bring it down, or call it up, then now I'm getting more of that subject matter in my TikTok. So it's it has for data for the longest time, has been powerful, and people have now know how to manipulate it and use it.
Yeah. It's something to consider. So, also, I saw a lot of this going around, and everybody's, weary the AI boogeyman is around the corner. But if we look at Montauk Point in Long Island, and we all have an affinity for that Long Island place, right? I went to school there, Mozzie, Sister Aurora. We Long Islandites out this piece, We ain't talking about Montauk Point, right? The mystery of Montauk Point and the origins of Stranger Things and how they did their own, Cold Spring Harbor, Montauk Point. They did their own eugenics. They did their own mind control experiments back in the day. And who's bringing them to task over that? It says Long Island Air Force Base, 1982 to 1987. These were the final years of the Cold War when the race to develop new weaponry and technology had reached a fever pitch. With nearly endless supplies of funds obtained from larger Nazi gold, Montauk Point experiments pushed the very limits of modern science, testing everything from mind control to time travel. Brother Mosley, talk to me, man. What we doing with Montauk Point, man?
Now, you know what's interesting? That when I think of Montauk Point, you know what it make me think of?
What's up?
What was that movie with? Oh gosh, he was in the he was in the movies. Lethal Weapon with Danny Glover. What was the white guy's name?
Oh,
Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson. And he did a movie where there was some brainwashing going on. And remember, there was a point where he kept hearing this noise in the background, and he was at some Long Island, Queens, Long Island facility. Oh my God, what was the name of that movie? Hold on.
Let me look at his IMDb while you're talking.
Yeah, it just kind of reminds me of something of that nature, man, where, this is the kind of stuff that's going down.
Yeah.
For all we know, a lot of these folks may have walked out of these facilities that got the implant.
Wow.
Because remember, that used to be a thing too, where people were starting to get chipped. I think it was big after Agent Orange, but where the veterans were saying, they put a chip in me. They put a chip in me, and that was one of the big things that the United States
I
started
think we're running
covering up.
just some.
Calling those who thought they had a chip in them, or did they just think it? But they had to make them look as though that they were lunatics, so we wouldn't believe that they were chipped. So they just decided, yeah, well, look, we can easily make them seem crazy. We can make this a non-plausible type of issue. We'll just say that they're crazy, or something like that. And then later on, you find out people actually did get chips,
Yeah.
You know.
That's them
Yeah.
folks in Montauk Point. They got
Mhm.
the whole chip. They got the chip
And I'm
and
trying to remember the name of that
the chip
movie.
and the Dale.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember it too. I looked at his movies. I couldn't remember which one. I don't know if that's the one where he was the military officer. I'm not sure. Forever Young is that what you're referring to? Was that the one? I'm not sure.
No, conspiracy
Maybe.
theory.
Conspiracy theory. Okay, there you go. Yep, that was a big one. You're right. That was a big movie. I remember that. That was a big movie. That was one of them joints you put on the. That was one of the VA. That was one of the bootleg DVDs. Did you see Conspiracy Theory? Oh my gosh, that was so good. Yeah. So, just as much as we want to crucify the international community, we need to be keeping an eye on what's going on over here. For sure. Because these folks ain't innocent by a long shot.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll try to tell you, they'll try to sell you left, and what's going on the right hand side of things is ugly as hell. Just as detrimental. Yeah, man.
So
We're gonna get some
true.
young people on here, man. I'm tired of, talking to just us. I want to get some young people on here, some other sisters on here. Let's get some folks in here who can, add to the conversation and have a higher discussion with us. And I'm gonna wrap it up right here. I was gonna do the whole Elon Musk and pardoning Chauvin. I'll get into that on Moon Day. But for right now, we're almost at the limit. So I'm gonna wrap it up right here. Y'all got anything going on y'all want the people to know about, community wise or anything else? And we're gonna get ready to sign off after that.
Nothing this way. Just
well, anything that comes out from these two brilliant people, y'all support. Y'all heard it first here on the Real HD Show. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe, comment, and turn on all your notifications so that every time we have a Real HD Show, you guys can join us and have a higher discussion. I'm going to say peace. I'm going to say walk with power. And y'all love on each other. We'll see y'all on Moon Day so we can have another one. Y'all, peace. Y'all be good. We're out.
peace. Take care.